Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fathiya Rizqa Ziyada, and I'm from group of 24. So I make this video. This is for my final spoken test. This is about end of semester reflection questions. So I have to answer the questions that Sir Fitra gave to us, and I wrote the questions on this paper. Don't complaining about my writing. I know it's bad. So let's move to the question. First question is, what are the 3 most valuable things you learned this semester, and how will they help you in the future? I think the most valuable things that I learned this semester are to speak English. Your grammar doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe we scared to speak English because we think that our grammar is broke, our English is bad, and we scared that we can got bullied because our bad grammar, because we spoke bad English. We scared we would judge people. We scared that people would judging us about because of our bad grammars. But in fact, to speak English, you just have to be confident. I remember when Sir Fitra said to us that you don't need to care about grammars because you are not a native speakers. So as long as they can understand what you say, it's fine. It's really fine to speak without perfect grammar because, yeah, as I said before, we are not a native speaker, so that's really fine. I think it's all about confidence because in the future, when we work, when we got a job, when we being mature, we could we have to interact with some people whom can't speak our language. So we have to communicate, we have to interact with them with English. You can speak English with them. And yeah, once again, that's not about perfect grammar. You don't need to be perfect in grammar. As long as they can understand what you say, it's enough. But also, don't give up to learn grammar. For now, it's okay you to speak bad grammar. It's okay you can speak grammar properly. But if you speak with proper grammar, I think that would be better. That's because you can express your thought and your feeling more better with proper grammar. And then the most valuable things that I learned in this semester is practicing your knowledge is important. Actually, I know this for a long time, but I think I learned and realized this when I was in this class. I realized that if I didn't practice my English, my knowledge about English, my knowledge about vocabularies, my knowledge about grammars would slowly disappear. And I never can speak English because practicing something, not just about English, practicing something in general will help you in the future. In the future, we will know and learn something new. So if we don't practice our knowledge, especially about how to survive in life, I think our life will not long. Our life it is being short, I think, because you don't practice how to survive. And I have to think about this. We don't know what kind of job we will get in the future, right? So, but sometimes the job that we will get, the job that we would do is not the job that we are good in it. So we have to learn and practice our knowledge to do our job. So yeah, that's really important to practice your knowledge. So from now, let's start practicing even a small of your knowledge. Let's practice it in our life. And the last, I think, most valuable things that I learned in this semester, that we can't judge, we can see someone just by one side, like, because there's a people who is good in speaking but their grammar is not that good, and there is a people who is good in writing but can't they can't speak what is on their mind. And then there's a people who is good about theories, they're good about grammar but they can't speak and write what is on their mind. And also there's a people who is good in speaking, they're good in speaking and writing, but when they do their listening test is not good, their score is not that high. So I think everyone has their strength, everyone has something that they're capable in it, everyone has something that they're weak in that. So even if you're not really good at all, it's still fine because we still learning, we always learn something new, so it's fine to be not perfect. And by this mindset, I think I would not judge someone easily. In the future we will meet lots type of people, and we would understand that everyone has their capability, even myself. Of course I'm not good at all, i'm bad I'm bad at something and I'm good at something. But the important thing is that I keep learning and I'm not give up to learn. I'm always learn and I'm not give up from it. And the second question, let's move to the second question. Second question is, which assignment or project challenged you the most, and what did you learn from completing it? The most challenged assignment that made me kinda stressed, it's really challenging for me, are Google Sites, and interview assignment. To be honest, I cried before I did all that assignments. I know I was kind of dramatic, but I was really stressed and frustrated at that time. So I think what made it so challenging is that I have to remember their stories. I have to remember my friends' stories. There's a lot of story. I couldn't remember all of that. So I have to remember that. Actually, I'm not wrote all of that, but some of that I wrote some of that, and I have to edit that Google site to make it good. And it took so much time, and I have to sat in front of my laptop for many hours, and it made my back so hurt. But actually now I'm kinda enjoying it. And after I finished, I think my writing capabilities raises. I can write sentence better than before, and I think I learned how to be patient. Like, because if I was not patient at the time, because if I was not patient while while I did that site, it would have not finished till now. And about the interview assignment, The challenge was I have to speak English for at least like 15 minutes, and at that time I couldn't yap in English. I couldn't say something for long sentences in English. So that was really frustrated me. I really stressed at that time, and yeah, but after I completing that assignment, I think my confidence and capability to speak English is more better than before. I I'm being confident. I'm being like, oh, it's fine to speak English without proper grammar, and that make me feel confident. Let's move to the third question. The third question is, how was your confidence or ability in using English changed during this semester? Give specific examples. I think my confidence to speak English changed so much. I think it raises at least from 3 to 10. Not 10, to 7. Too much. I think it raises from 3 to 7. So I'm gonna tell you the story. So before I went to this university, and I found that my English UPB class was the first class. That of course in that class, the first class in that class, there's smart people, and I'm not that smart. I'm not that good at English. So before I went and attend the class, I didn't dare to speak English because yeah, I thought my grammar is totally broke. My English is bad, and I've been unconfident to speak English because of that. But when I was alone in my room, I sat on the mirror and speak English. But if I went outside and meet people who can speak English, who speak English, my confidence is from 10 to 1. I was unconfident to speak with them with English language. But when I came and attend this class, I found that my classmates were good in English. I was really insecure. I was scared about they would judging me and laughing at me because of my grammars. But I think that was just a nightmare because they never did that to me. They never bullied me. They never judging me because my English is not good. And from that, I start to being confident. I think something good could miss if you're not confident to do that, especially to speak English. Something as we know, English is the international language. So if you want to go abroad, you can use English language to connect you, to communicate with others. Maybe your grammar will wrong, but as long as they can understand, and as long as you're confident, it will help you so much. And then the fourth question is, what teaching methods, activities, or materials were the most effective for your learning, and why? The most effective teaching methods and activities were really effective for me is where is you are is are you are that you told a forgettable story and voice note assignment. I think told your unforgettable story was not just remembered your friend's story, but also remembered your own story. But also changed the language from Indonesian to English. And then you have to tell others about your stories, and you have to answer their questions. If they have a question, you have to answer that. And if you've been a listener of their story, you have to process what they say to understand a whole story. And sometimes you have to make a question, you have to ask them something, like, yeah, just ask them. You have to ask them not in Indonesian, you have to ask them in English. In English language, you have to ask them with English languages. And that's really challenging, but that is really effective for learning. And for voice note assignment, I think we have to think and talk about the topics that Sir Fitra gave to us. And I think it pushed you to talk for 5 minutes. And for someone who is not good at English like me, it was really hard. But it really pushed your capability in trying it. Maybe at the first time you thought that you have a lot of homeworks and assignments, especially voice note assignments. You have to do it 3 times a week, and I think that's a lot of assignment. But this is the process that make you more capable to speak English. You learn about new words, you learn about new things, and you have to make conversation with others. And this assignment really helped me a lot. And then I realized that how hard it is. I will get over it. And the last question, finally, this is the last question. If you could redesign this course for next semester, what improvements or changes would you suggest? If I could redesign this course for next semester, I think I would make my students have more conversation with their friends. I would give them the topics and they have to talk about it to each others. And then I would ask them to write about maybe their diaries. Yeah, I would make them write that. I would make them write that. Yeah, write about their life, anything about their life, how's that day, that they, yeah, I think about all about their life. And also I would make them to do voice assignment like Sir Fitra did to us, because I think that's really improved my English. That's really helped me to get better in English. And sometimes I would ask my students to make a week in my life, like a day in my life in YouTube. I would ask them to make a week in my life videos. And I think I will not change anything, because I think Sir Fitra made our class so fun with his method. So I don't need to change anything. I would just improve it. So this is last question and I have done. Thank you for watching this video. Maybe this would be my last video on YouTube, because if I out from this class, I think I would not I don't have to make a video again. So this is my last video on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again. Bye bye. Thank you.